Conversation with Honorable Semeibo. So many orders have been quoted since the beginning of this matter, or the 40, or the 20, or the 6, or the 10. What's your impression about this matter that has now become a national issue?
Frankly, I think a lot of issues are getting confused or conflated, even by your show, with all due respect. I was watching the loop that we have of Senator Natasha, and you are showing the loop of her submitting document. Why not show us the loop where she was disrespecting the president? See, that several the Senate president, because for me, there are several issues here, okay? This whole problem, by her own mouth, started when she was reassigned, her seat was reassigned. She has not made any allegation that the Senate president doesn't have the power to reassign her seats. But according to the Red Book that they all swore to in the Senate, you can't speak from another microphone that is not your seat. See, the Senate is not for babies. It's supposed to be the most mature chamber that we have. So she was very disrespectful to the president of the Senate. I don't know her, I don't know the president, but I watched that video. I'm like, how can a senator be disrespecting the president of the Senate like this? Before then, there had been no allegations of sexual harassment. And I want to be clear because I know I'll be misquoted. Every sexual allegation is a very serious matter. This matter needs to be investigated, but you cannot use it to blackmail process or to change the process. She has never made any allegation of sexual harassment before she was moved. She herself explained the reason why she didn't like being moved. Oh, that place is not popular with the press. The press will not see you. These are stuff coming out of her own mouth. I listened to it. Then she also went to this bracket somewhere and she spoke about it also, that where they moved her to is a place where she will not be seen by the press. Was she sent to the Senate to go and be seen by the press or to go and help her people? That's where it started. Now, all of a sudden, allegations of sexual harassment has come out and everybody's supposed to be frozen. To me, this is unfair to Akpabio. It's unfair of her to bring that up at this point. If Akpabio has sexually harassed her, we should have heard of this before. She's now complaining about being removed in her seat. So the issue is, does Akpabio have a right to reassign her seat? Of course he does, according to their own rule. He does. That's Order 11 Rule 2. Okay? Does Akpabio control what is permissible in the Senate or not? He does. Rule 25. So he has not violated that. Okay? So, and now she has made sexual allegation to against the president, which I think should be investigated, but she has not brought any proof. And if we are not careful, what happened in the US that Trump is trying to now reverse is just a woman can just make an allegation, then everybody will believe her, and then we all have to keep quiet. So if you showed Nigerians a loop of her, the way she was talking in the Senate to the Senate president, maybe they will have a different quote, a different take about this. But you are not showing us that.
That video is everywhere, Dr. Banwo. But let's stay on course. The president of the Senate, according to the rules of the Senate, the president of the Senate shall allocate a seat to each senator. A senator may only speak from the seat allocated to him, provided that the president of the Senate may change the allocation from time to time. What I would love to get from you is, what then is the meaning of privilege in the Senate rules? If the now very popular Order 10 gives her that privilege, shouldn't that have made the Senate president suspend all of the matters and take her complaints?
You can't claim privilege when you're in violation of the constitution of your own house. What are you talking about? She cannot speak. The rule is clear. Rule 2 says senators may only speak from the seat allocated to him or her unless the Senate president gives further permission. If you're out of order there is no privilege you can raise. And that is the point. And in any case, this whole matter was not started by Akpabio, contrary to the impression some people are trying to give. It was started by Monguno, the chief whip. And that was his job. He is the one that told Akpabio that woman cannot speak from there because her seat has been allocated. Okay? And that is where it started. So she, as a senator, should have respected herself, go to her seat where she's supposed to speak, and then make whatever privilege you want to make from there. You can't claim privilege when you are out of order. That is a very simple thing. And people forget this. Okay, I don't speak for Akpabio. I'm not necessarily saying I even like the man. But the point is, he's the president of our Senate, and Senate is one of the most regulated chambers in Nigeria. They have this thing that is called the Red Book, that they even indoctrinate you on. You swear on it and all that when you come in. Senator Natasha obviously did not read a book. She did not even understand the rules that is going on. And then, after that show of shame, with all due respect, okay, in the Senate, we all watched it. I saw that. To now raise sexual harassment later as the basis on which our seats were reallocated, I think it's unfair.
All right.
Because what happened was that some senators are decamped or whatever, there has been a change. So the seats were allocated, not just her, she was not the only one affected.
So now that she's been suspended, Dr. Banwo, bearing in mind I want you to help us with the legal angle to this. Bearing in mind the principle of separation of powers, the court says no senator or lawmaker can be suspended for more than 14 days, very specifically by the provisions of the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act 2018. A member of the Legislative House who is guilty of contempt or that house may be suspended but not more than 48 hours. The Senate rules in Order 67, subsection 4 says a senator cannot be suspended for more than 14 days. Is this the Senate going against its own rules? What is the legal implication? Is there any substance?
Yeah, that's a different thing entirely, and I do agree with you. Order 67, Rule 4 says they cannot suspend for more than 14 days. They've suspended her for 6 months. That, to me, is wrong. She probably will win in court. We've seen somebody do that. I forgot the name of that case. There was another senator that went to court and challenged this. Omagege, yes. Omagege challenged it, and the court was clear that you can't suspend him for more than 14 days. And in any case, even his own situation, they said there is no basis. So in this case, Natasha did comport herself without decorum in court, in which case is susceptible to discipline. But 6 months, I think, is definitely unfair. I think it's not according to the rules. Now, I'm not a senator. I've not crammed their red book, but I do know about Order 67, Rule 4, because it had come up before in some cases that we all witnessed, like Omoagege. So I don't know about this 6 months thing. But that's a separate issue. So there are like 4 issues here. The issue is, can the Senate President reassign your seat? Of course he can, according to your rule. Can you just make sexual allegations without submitting evidence? I think not. Because even he might have done it or not do it, but I think every one of us, we want, if somebody's going to accuse me of doing something, to have proof. Otherwise, nobody is safe. Anybody can just wake up and say, you sexually harassed me, then we have to believe you. That's what the Democrats were doing in the U.S. That's what led to the rise of people like Trump. Because people got mad about that. That you can't just say, oh, I raped you, I tried to rape you, so people must believe you. So, and I think our raising it after the fact makes it even more suspicious. Now, again, I don't want to trivialize it at all. If our president of the Senate is involved in sexual harassment and he himself is becoming an A2 now, an antelope, because it's not the first time, okay, so that's making me think about this a little bit. It's not the first time he's been accused of sexual harassment. So that's making me not to quickly dismiss what Senator Natasha is saying, but I think the manner she's raising it is very suspect. It's sounding more like a blackmail allegation to me, and I will say, but we'll still give her the benefit of the doubt. An independent body should investigate the allegations outside of the influence of the Senate President so that it can be fair and fair. But that's got nothing to do with her suspension. Her suspension is about the way she conducted herself in the Senate, and people should understand that. And I want to challenge anybody who is trying to make this about the sexual allegation, show that video and let anybody watching you tell us they don't agree that she was very, very disrespectful. I want to see the video, because you've shown us her moving in the Senate. She looks like a very calm lady, behaving properly. Show us the video. She was not. I don't know her. I saw that video and I was disgusted. How can a senator behave like that? If a man did that, they will suspend him. So if a woman do it, why shouldn't they suspend her? This is the way we should view these things. We can't, while women should be protected, we should not give them extraordinary rights because they are women, just because they made a claim. If people have been suspended before, she won't be the first. Ningi was suspended. Omagege was suspended. Aline Dume was suspended. There is nothing new about Senate suspending their own for conduct they found unbecoming. And in our own case, Her conduct is very unbecoming. I'm still looking for that video, man. You are not showing it.
I'm sure my producers will put it up. I mean, the video is everywhere. But what lessons do you think the Senate and the leadership of the Senate and the senators should take away from this episode?
Well, I think what we should take away is, one, they should all understand that that Senate, whatever is happening there is a big reflection on Nigeria. People should follow order, and we should not be sentimental about judging what happened there. These things could have been settled, even her seat, okay, when she was reassigned. There's a way she could have handled it instead of blowing this thing out. And number three thing I think everybody should take away, if you are being sexually assaulted, you make the allegation then, so that it's not confused. If this woman has made this allegation before the seat was reassigned, I'll be talking something different. I'll be saying, oh yeah, maybe he doesn't want to sleep with him, is why he's reassigning her. But we didn't hear anything like that. So, and again, I want to say this. I think with all due respect, without leviticizing sexual harassment, I don't look at that woman as somebody that can be sexually harassed. She's a senator.
No, let's not go there, Dr. Banwo. Let's not go there. Let's not go there at all. But again, does this speak to, or in any way speak to, a level of favoritism, nepotism that goes on in our public institutions? I mean, the Senate this time, favoritism over competence. And I'm asking because, you know, the public denigration of the institution has just opened the eyes of Nigerians to the array of appointments to undeserving lawmakers in the National Assembly. And I'm saying this or asking this question because we heard Senator Sunday Karimi from Kogi West, who narrated to us how he begged and lobbied for Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's chairmanship appointment when indeed she didn't deserve it at that time. And there were other competent lawmakers who could have been, you know, chairman of this committee, when indeed at that time there were other, apart from, I mean, even from Kogi West or Kogi Central, there were other lawmakers who could have taken up this position. Senate President Akpabio at that time bent the rules for her, which has backfired today. How does our country move forward with situations such as this?
Well, I don't know. We've all been asking that everything should be based on merit, but I want to ask, is Senator Natasha a senior senator that she would deserve to sit in front or to get plumb? This thing, Senate is a fraternity, but whether of men and women together, it's according to they respect seniority a lot, connections, and how long you have served. So for me, from what I understand, she's also the chairperson of the Diaspora Committee. I thought that was a very powerful committee. That's a committee that is good. So I don't know the details about how they choose who will become what in the Senate, but I do know that it's a highly hierarchical chamber. Okay, you have to be at a senior level for you to be able to sit in front or to sit in a particular place. So if she is not a very senior senator and then some things happen, some people defected and they rearrange the seats and then they put her somewhere that she doesn't like, she didn't handle it well. There's a way you could have lobbied behind it. They are all politicians. They could have talked to themselves behind her. Oh, God, I don't like that. They would have lobbied and maybe she would have gotten what she wanted. Even, by the way, Akpabio himself was in the same situation as this lady before. People forget that. Where he spoke, they also changed his seat. He wanted to speak from another, they didn't change his seat. He wanted to speak from the seat of another senator because his microphone was not working. And Saraki said, no, you cannot do that. And they got into it. But guess what? Later, Akpabio apologized when they finally explained the rule to him that you cannot speak from a desk that is not the one you are assigned by the rules. When they sorted it out, he apologized to Saraki. In his own case, he was not even addressing the Senate president. He was addressing the majority leader because he recognized that in the Senate president is all powerful. It's like our executive president. That's not Akpabio's fault. That's the constitution you gave him. The Senate president is basically, under Rule 25, was given the power to be responsible for rule observance and to also interpret the rules, which I think is crazy. But that's what is in our constitution. That the Senate president
and the Senate leadership has said for the Senate to consider lifting or reducing the period of suspension, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan will have to submit a written apology to the Senate. What do you anticipate? I mean, if I'm to go by her departing speech, she said it looks like she's all about justice in the court of law. Do you see her apologizing?
Yeah, there are two issues. On the issue of her decorum on the Senate floor, absolutely 100%, she needs to apologize, not just to the president of the Senate, but to the whole of Nigerians. It was disgusting. But as for the issue of the sexual allegation, oh no, you can't apologize if you are saying somebody sexually assaulted you. It needs to be properly investigated in a way that is free and fair. Okay, so to me, that's my own opinion there.
All right. Great place to leave the conversation tonight. Dr. Ope Banwo, US-based lawyer, political affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your perspective on politics tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.